I'm going to be featured on a show now. So just give me 2 minutes, okay? Okay, bye-bye. Hi, good night, everyone. I got a conflict guru 868 here.
Multitask.
Got got caught off guard tonight. Tonight we are doing it a bit different. We are on a Tuesday rather than a Wednesday, which is what we usually do. Unfortunately, or unfortunately, I had a bit of a family emergency with my son, so that sort of threw me off. And so I'm making a few changes for the next 2 weeks or so to accommodate dealing with him and family issues and stuff like that. So we'll be on Tuesday tonight and as well as next week. And also Friday, we're going to have a special version because of the emergency. I missed last week's session with Rosaline Thompson. So Rosaline and I will be doing something a bit different on Friday. More information for that will come. Now tonight we have Miss Anika, Strategy Maverick. I call her the Marketing Maverick as well. Anika and I have been related for quite a while. She was one of the first persons to invite me to be featured on a program and actually helped me take the final plunge into doing the Woman in Business, which was always an idea, but finally I did it. So I think Anika is part to blame for that. So she's with us tonight, and that I want Anika just to talk more a bit about herself because she has such a colorful background, full of fountain of information and stuff like that. So Anika, if you would just like to tell the viewers tonight a bit about yourself, and then we will go into the conversation.
Well, I am a marketing professional. I've worked in the very traditional spaces of marketing from PR to TV, radio, advertising, and then now more heavily focused on digital and digital strategy. I enjoy creating strategy. Like I'm a nerd like that, proper nerd. But my passion is with solopreneurs and coaching solopreneurs in terms of helping them to develop their brand and their overall digital strategy too. So that's kind of me in a nutshell.
Yeah, and when we talk about digital strategy, that is where the world of business, especially for entrepreneurs right now, is turning because with the onset of COVID pandemic, this economic downturn and stuff like that, we needed to make sure that we, and I mean we as entrepreneurs, businesswomen,
Mhm.
had to capture our market, and digital is the way to go.
Yeah,
Now, the funny thing is, you're a marketing maverick, you're a strategy maverick, whatever, but your background is in psychology.
yeah, yeah.
So I wanted to find out how did you end up in marketing? How did you marry psychology to marketing? Or did you just marketing and you never married the psychology? What was the transition?
Well, I mean, I use the psychology daily, but I would say how I landed in marketing was I'm also a writer. So I was freelancing at the time, just, I think I was kind of was I still in university? I think I had taken maybe a year off from university, that's supposed to be year off. And I was freelancing for the national newspaper here in Jamaica. And
Okay.
went to interview, you could say, a giant in PR in the Caribbean. And she offered me a job. I,
Oh.
so she offered me a job to come in as like a junior account executive and write press releases and so forth. And I went through pretty quickly and became senior account executive and actually was employed with her like 4 different times on projects and stuff. Um, and just developed a love for marketing. But in terms
Mhm.
of the psychology, I definitely utilize the background and the know-how from psychology in marketing because that's what it is. Marketing
Yeah.
is psychology applied. It's
Mhm.
subliminal messaging. It is somewhat manipulative at times too, and it's very strategic. So
Like,
I think that's why I like it because it's almost
yeah.
like a tangible a tangible, not experience, but it's not really the experience. It's almost like a tangible result of the understanding of psychology.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And
that's
even,
probably why I like it so much.
and I can understand it because I also studied psychology as an undergrad.
Mhm.
And you realize that what you've learned, your theories and stuff like that, comes into play in every aspect of your life,
Yeah.
especially in business. Not
Mhm.
only in selling in business, but in my case with HR and dealing with my employees and stuff like that, it comes into play. It helps you to understand your mind a bit more.
Mhm.
And that is really good because to apply those theories to marketing
Yeah.
and actually see it, see the contribution, the positive contribution you can make is actually a really good thing. And that is really impressive. Now, another thing about you that I really admire, I find that you've always been real. Real
Mhm.
in the sense of, listen, I am a mom. I am a mompreneur. I have my business. I'm doing my marketing, but I have my days. And I have my days where I'm not going to be
Like
as
today.
happy as I would like to be. Don't start. And you talk about it so openly. And there were many a time that you have written and posted. And I would be behind the screen like, yes, yes, preach, preach. Like because I could relate to
Yeah.
it. And because of the moms and the business and whatever, because we're human. And as women, we go through so much and we have our days. That's basically our down days. And I really admire that about you. And for us, I would like you to share with us is how do you overcome it? I mean, because I've spoken to a few women while in business, and I find that quite a few love to say, I don't have any conflict in business. No, I'm fine.
They're
But
liars.
at the end of the day,
Sorry, you wanted me to be real, right? You knew what you're
I want
getting
to know
yourself
that
into.
no other way. At the end of the day, we all have our conflicts. We all have issues. Like recently, like with my family emergency. Basically, I sent my son off to my mom's to homeschool, and out of nowhere, she calls me to tell me my son had a fall. And I was like, okay. But then something in her voice told me, listen, this is not a fall. Rushed over there. And my son is basically a baby in the sense that my 10-year-old completely regressed.
Mm.
And that dealing with that, taking him to the hospital, spending the time in hospital with him, that those hours there, tests and all those different things, I shut down completely. I called my staff. I told them that's it. I'm off for the week. I can't do this. I cancel the woman in business. It's conflict. It's stress. And I am still recovering from that because I still have to take my son through this. He suffered a concussion. I think you guys will be
Mhm.
aware of that. And it is a very trying process when you see your child is in pain, your child is hurt, you can't function. In my case, I could not function. Now, it
Yeah.
may not be a child, it may be a simple thing as just having an off day.
Mm-hmm.
And that can really throw you off. That can really take you off your game and you just cannot function.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you can share with us how ways in overcoming it. Because, another thing you really talk about is empathy.
Mm-hmm.
And tie it into understanding, I guess, even being empathic to yourself, understanding yourself and forgiving yourself and stuff like that. So how do we overcome these days, these struggles?
Well, I mean, I think it's a journey overall. And if
Mm,
I were to speak from a place of expertise in terms of overcoming, it would almost be a lie as well, because I
mm,
mean, it's an ongoing journey, and it is
yeah.
something that I still struggle with on a daily
Mm,
basis.
yeah.
Before we went live, I was telling you I needed a nap today, like a 3-year-old. Like I made it mash up proper. And
Don't
there
worry.
are times where you have to. Okay, so if we were talking about, like, what steps somebody can make, it's just to be open and honest with yourself and
True.
realize when you're about to hit a wall. So if that
Mm-hmm.
means a wall with a person, or a wall with a client, or a wall with a lover or partner or family member, you have to know when you're about to hit that wall and consciously decide, okay, am I going to?
Yeah.
Or do I pull back for a minute, or how do I recalibrate myself when it happens? Because sometimes these walls, these figurative walls, are inevitable. Conflict is inevitable. So
Exactly.
whether you're in a marriage or a long-term relationship or whatever, you're gonna have fights. You're going to have the quarrels. It is going to happen. If you have kids, somebody are gonna drop down and hurt themselves, or something else is going to happen. If you running a business, shit
Something
gonna
is
go
going.
sideways a lot of the
Yeah,
time.
very
So
quickly too.
it's a matter of deciding, I would suppose, what your boundaries are, what your
Mm,
limitations are, and to what extent you're willing to haul and pull up when you need to. So do I need to stop today? I needed to stop today because I felt I even said it to myself yesterday. I said, I'm not burning out. I'm just tired. And burnout
mhm,
is almost inevitable too. So but I don't
mhm,
feel it's burnout. I'm just tired. And today is like it bucks me down. It was
mhm.
okay, you need to stop and go and lie down and take a nap.
And nothing is wrong with that because I did the same thing. As soon as my 2-year-old, aka firecracker, went down, I
Yeah.
went down too. So I slept while the baby was sleeping. And you see, taking it into a conflict context, like you rightfully said, and I have used this line so many times, conflict is inevitable. It is
Mm-hmm.
something that you're going to face on a daily basis. Be it a large issue, a minute issue, it's going to be faced. And especially as women in business, we are going to face conflicts. We are going to face conflicts in ourselves, interpersonal. We are
Yeah.
going to intrapersonal. We're going to face group conflicts as well. And they're going to come in every single form. And again, as you rightfully said, relationship wise, business wise, is going to be there. And the thing is, we cannot ignore it. We have to face it. Now, how do we manage our personal conflicts? Do we
Mm-hmm.
avoid it? Do we turn aggressive? Are we going to combine some forms of conflict resolution to use with ourselves, or how are we going to do this? And that is what we need to know about ourselves. We need to know what our breaking points are. When we are nearing those breaking points,
Mm-hmm.
what triggers us? And I can say, like for me, my family is that where I draw the line. Anything to do with my kids is where I draw the line.
Yeah.
So I will shut down every single thing once it comes to having to deal with issues with my family, etc. Because they
Mm-hmm.
are where I draw my strength from. I mean, the Lord God first and foremost. But I always say He has given me a chance to be a mom to these kids. So I take that very, very seriously.
Mm-hmm.
And burnout, oh gosh, that's another thing. That
Yeah.
like I usually say this is my burnout season. From September to December is where things just come. Bam, 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 bam. And there are times when 9 o'clock will hit in the morning, I'm still in bed, I'm not up by 6 o'clock, hitting work and whatever, and just 9 o'clock, and I just need to sleep.
Yeah.
And because I need to do this for myself. And like you said, we need to know when we're going to come near to that wall and how we're going to
Mm-hmm.
actually manage it. Now, with empathy, it comes to believing in yourself and believing in who you are and stuff like that. And I would say that I consider you a very confident person. So, no, no, don't laugh. I'm serious, Mika. I was you extremely confident. I
I
love
laugh
that kind
because
of you.
it's funny, but keep going, keep going.
It's the truth. That is what I think. And not only that, you are so innovative in your ideas. When you come with these little marketing things, you had the BDSM. I was like, yes. So we do these things, and but where she coming with this? How she come up with this? And
My
I can
brain
see
is in the gutter almost all the time.
I love it because you're real. We are grown, right? But it is not just in the gutter and smut. No, and
No.
never. It is in the gutter. And, look at where she going with this. This
Mm-hmm.
making real sense, right? How is bondage related to my marketing? So, in believing in yourself and being empathic and stuff like that, how has that pushed you? How does that tie in with you just, I guess, being a badass that you are? How does it tie in?
You see, the why I had kind of giggled at first when you had said the whole confident thing was because I would probably disagree. Like I am, I don't view myself as being an absolutely confident individual. Frankly, I would say I am learning to become more confident and more at ease with who I am as an individual, and truly honoring and celebrating my skills. And I know that I'm good at what I do.
There is a
I know
confidence.
that. I do know
There is
that.
a confidence.
The thing is, I've been so comfortable, and I think that's a thing that many women or that we fall into this trap because we know we're good. We know we're good at what we do, but we fall into a trap of whether it is that we're serving clients or we're serving a partner or we're serving staff members or whatever, we fall into a trap of being okay behind the scenes, doing what we do very well, and not being willing to truly shine and let ourselves be seen.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the challenge that I have been facing, in the sense of I know that I'm good at what I do.
Right.
But to come out and say, hey, this is me, I'm really good at what I do, that's the challenge. So I don't even remember what your question was now. Was this a conversation that you were expecting to have?
Anika, behavior tonight, please.
A promise.
You see, the thing is, you're confident in your abilities is where your confidence lies. And so that is where I will see the confidence. I know we all have our days. I mean, I will doubt myself. I will write a bio of myself and be afraid to stand it because, like, oh gosh, no, it's too much. They will think I did too much.
It's not.
And then exactly, but that is how we are cultured. We are cultured like that. We are cultured.
That's how we're socialized. Women. A man not going to have a problem doing that.
No,
no problem. I'm like, the shoes is balls. Like, these are my balls.
Yes, please. But with us, it's like, no, we can't be too much out there. We cannot be too much. We should not be too much. Because if we are too much, where are we going to fit in?
And from that socialization of where we're told, it's funny, I saw a meme or something like about this the other day. Like we tell little girls that good little girls are quiet. They're not precocious. They're not outspoken. I remember when I was a little girl being told I was precocious, and I had some family members who would also say it in a negative light, in the sense of, she's feisty, or you're too feisty, or those kind of things. Not to say that, when you're rude, but as in, we tell little girls that to be good little girls, they're seen, not heard. And then they grow up to become women who want to be seen but are afraid to be heard.
Exactly. We silence.
It's a vicious cycle. So
yeah,
it's I guess in the sense of that level of confidence, it takes time to be willing to put yourself out there.
Yeah, and what you're saying there is very true, because with my daughter, like, her name is Firecracker. Everybody who calls me and Sabina refer to as Firecracker. With Firecracker, I actually say a prayer sometime, and I ask God, I say, God, don't let me as her mother break her spirit. And that's why I call my child Firecracker.
Yeah.
And sometimes I actually hide from her because it is a lot. But I, as her mom, knowing how it felt to be put into a box and expect to be stay in that box and just be in that box, and how much I fought against that box. I don't want to put my daughter through that. I wanted to have a voice, and Lord, she has a voice already for us. She has a voice. She says what she has to say. She's outspoken. Now, I'm not going to condone rudeness. I'm not going to condone disrespect. But you're going to learn to speak your mind in a respectful manner. You're going to be able to speak your truth in a respectful manner. And you're going to be unapologetically you. So Ellie knows that at 2 years, she's like, I am Ellie Cooper. And you're like, okay, you go, Ellie. She knows who she is, and I am proud of her as that.
Yeah.
So as a mom, I work towards that. I don't want her to go through all these years of studying like her mother did and whatever, and afraid to put it on a piece of paper to show somebody that is your bio to prove yourself.
Yeah. It's funny because I never, until COVID, I mean, yeah, everybody have a CV, yeah, and my CV looked fun because I wanted it to. So I always made sure whenever I was doing, if I ever was applying for something, that they would, my goal was that you would never forget my CV. So my CV doesn't look like a regular CV. But the irony was I never did a bio for myself until COVID. When I started doing a lot of these interviews and stuff, and people ask me, so we need a bio for you. And I would like to copy my little LinkedIn thing or whatever. But it was when I started putting down on paper the accomplishments that I have and the things that I've done, I was like, crap, Anika, how are you not saying some of these things? How are you not leveraging some of these things? How are you not, utilizing the things that you've done for other people for yourself? And that is, again, the irony of being socialized the way we have been as Caribbean women, not even just, women overall, but Caribbean women too,
In a particular way. You said something like, and I don't know if it maybe help somebody looking on tonight. We have done so much as women. We have grown, we have built, we have business, whatever. How do we leverage? What advice you will give someone to actually leverage their accomplishments? Because I think that is a problem most of us have. We don't know how to leverage our accomplishments. We will just say, well, I study here. How do we leverage that without fear of sounding boastful or fear of, what we like to say, showing off, right? How do we like successfully leverage our accomplishments? What advice? Just something very short, just to tell them, to give them some advice. How do we do that?
Well, here's where the marketing comes into play, because what we're talking about when you're leveraging your accomplishments, you're trying to market yourself and you're trying to showcase yourself like a brand. The best and the easiest way is to get testimonials. And to have other people speak on your behalf. Generally speaking, word of mouth marketing is still the best type of marketing. It's the most successful, it's the most effective. People like to hear from other people. If you're going to Amazon to purchase something, you go and look at the referrals or the R word. It's an R word. It's a referral. Review. That's what you do. So people go and look at the reviews, but that's a good technique to apply to yourself as well. And if you are trying, like myself, not to sound boastful, or you don't want to sound full of yourself, or you don't want to come across a certain way, but generally speaking, people don't like that. They don't like someone who's arrogant, who's going to be speaking like, oh, I did all of these things. They want to hear from other people. So if you have helped people along the way, then ask them for a testimonial, and what it operates as is a third-party review of who you are. So this person will say, I've worked with her, she's amazing, she did this and that and that. And that's how you leverage your own accomplishments.
Okay. So guys, you heard that. If you want to leverage your accomplishments, get referrals. Other person's testimonies of What you have done, however you help them, is going to help you as well. And we're gonna move away from sounding boastful, as we're often accused of, right? So on your journey, female entrepreneurship, I know COVID, I would say COVID has really worked for you. I found that you are one of the persons who I follow have really pivoted and captivated the market for COVID,
Mm.
right? So having all of that on your journey as a female entrepreneur, who inspired you the most?
Um, I would say, in terms of my inspirations, it would probably be my parents. I have my mom. I wouldn't say she wasn't self-employed, but she was always in positions of power, or positions of authority. My dad was self-employed, and I saw how hard they worked. So I utilized that as well as a mompreneur, because it's funny, I posted just the other day in my story the irony that I'm a mompreneur and I work from home, and my son is basically telling me I don't spend time with him. And it's true. And that's something that people take for granted, that when you're an entrepreneur or you work from home, that you have this abundance of time with family and with self, and you're lavishing with your friend them, or you're lying down by a pool, and that's not the case. Like, I'm exhausted all the time, and I have to negotiate with my son and set appointments. It's like I like, he will say, okay, mommy, we need to have an appointment. That don't sound good. It don't feel good. But at the same time, I am doing this for him. So when I think about my parents, I think about the fact that they worked extremely hard, but it never took away from the relationship I had with them. I do feel like I missed out on quite a bit with my dad, but I don't think I missed out on anything at all with my mom. And she was always working, always helping somebody, always talking to somebody on the phone. But it was the time that I had with her was incredible, you know? So in terms of inspirations, it starts directly from home, and I can only hope that I am modeling that same type of behavior and that same level of discipline and drive for my own kids. Other inspirations, I look at Gary Vee. I like Gary Vee. And I like him from the standpoint of how, not just the rawness and the realness of who he is, but how he utilizes his personal brand as a funnel into his business. And that's what I started doing for myself. So yes, I'm a coach, and yes, people can interact with me directly, but I'm trying with my brand to get business for my company. And that's kind of the business model that I started trying to put in place from last year, and thank God I did. And it just became like the timeline on my plans had to be pushed up because of COVID. Yeah.
I totally agree. It's true. It's true. And for those of us working from home ain't easy.
No, man, not at all.
I think we actually put in more work while we're home, because it's just easy for us to get out of bed, get into your workspace, do what you have to do, and then just stay there, and you get lost. And
you're zoned in when you're at work. Yeah, you have your distractions, but you don't have a 7-year-old like begging for attention, or somebody, and you have to go cook, and you have to do this, and you have to do that. So
take care and take care of the kids and everything like that. It is a lot of work when you work from home. But at the end of the day, it is rewarding when it is you put all that time into your business. And like you said, you are building your brand. You're using your brand and following business to your company. And it is rewarding when that happens. So that is one good thing. As your parents, I could relate as well, because my parents too are my biggest inspiration when it comes to business. They are also business owners. From the time I was like 6 or so, I grew up
Yeah.
And so you know what it is. And I can't say that it took anything away from them being parents per se.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Mm-mm.
It didn't. And I think that helps me in my role now as a business owner and a mom and stuff like that. So that is one. That is really cool. Oh gosh, you're such a natural interviewer thingy. I always,
I
this is the
I
first time I am
when I
interviewing
was
you. You've always interviewed me.
when I was little, I would always look forward to going and answering phones at my daddy's office. That was my favorite job. And, you press the
Really?
hold button and writing
Oh,
messages and that kind of thing. So yeah, I guess you could say I've grown up in it. Yeah.
nice. Yeah. And when you
Hmm.
grow up in it, you see, if we have certain character traits that we will develop over time. And I'm
Hmm.
hoping my kids develop those traits as well. And they have a love for business the way that I did. I do. Something that we can actually pass on to them because it's all about generational wealth at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And that is
Yeah.
something that we need to pay attention to as well. So, coming to the end of our session tonight, um, what would be your golden nugget of knowledge to impart onto our viewers?
Huh. I would say that it is okay to be vulnerable and to exist within a space of vulnerability, um, for not just for yourself, but for your team members, for your clients. Um, I remember when I had stated publicly, I think I made a post, and I didn't even realize it was only a year ago, but I had made a post about tips that I use to cope or to maintain my productivity when I'm going through a depressive spell. And
Mhm.
I remember a couple of friends and family members coming to me and saying, Anika, you sure you want to put that out there? You sure? Like, you think that's a good idea? Like, what your clients going to say? What could this affect your business? And what I had said to them was, my clients know the quality of my work. If
Mhm.
they now realize that the quality of my work has not diminished based on my depression or my anxiety, it's empowering, not just for me, but it can
Mhm.
highlight to someone else that you can live with something like this and still maintain a very productive lifestyle, and
So
you
true.
can still run a business, you can still be
Mhm.
successful.
Yeah.
And it comes from a place of allowing myself to be vulnerable, because it's not just authentic, but it also connects with someone else on a deeper level. So I had clients who would come to me after and share their personal stories. I have team members who are very open with their own mental health issues and concerns. And the thing is, that golden nugget would be that it is okay to operate from a space of vulnerability, because it doesn't diminish anything from you. It doesn't take away anything from you being this powerful brand of some sort. And in fact, I think it enhances it. It adds another
Mhm.
level of communication. It makes people feel like they can connect with you on a deeper level.
Really? Mm-hmm.
They can
It's
relate with
true.
you.
It's true.
It's not for everybody. Vulnerability
Mm-hmm.
isn't a comfortable space to be in.
I
Um,
I think that, yes, it's not
it's
very
not.
comfortable. It
What
isn't.
it has helped me to do, though, is to identify the right people who I want to be in my circle as well. So
Exactly.
if it makes you uncomfortable, chances are you're just not my crowd, and I am fine with that. And we will move
Yeah.
on.
Agreed. And ironically, that post that you mentioned, I remembered it because I remember seeing it. And that, it was the same time I was going through something as well.
Ah,
So when I saw it, I was like, yeah, yeah. It resonated. It
yeah.
resonated. And your coping strategies, I can't remember them exactly, but it was like, yeah, yeah. And then I said, shit this, I'm going to take some time off.
Yeah, no, it's self-care is essential. And I
Yeah.
would say that one of the, if there was ever another nugget, it would be
Mm-hmm.
treat
Oh,
yourself
we getting two nuggets.
to. It would be to treat yourself like your most valuable asset in your company. So if it means that you
True.
need to invest in yourself for therapy, get some therapy. If it means that you need to invest in yourself to take some time off because you need to be at your optimum, then you need to take some time off. Entrepreneurs have a hard time taking time off because it's virtually non-existent. But there has to be a way. There has to be a give, and treat yourself like the number one asset because you are. You are.
Yeah, you are. Because you are the brand in most cases. As you said,
Yeah.
solopreneurs, we are the brand. And without us, where will our brand be? If it is that we are operating at half mass, where will the brand go? What are we telling persons who are following us, prospective clients and stuff? So we have to really invest in ourselves
Yeah.
in the sense of knowing our limitations. And like you said earlier, if we see that wall coming, we need to know that, hey, this wall is fast approaching. Let me do something to avoid colliding with this
Mm-hmm.
wall.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is really something that we really need to pay attention to, because if we are burnt out, what's going to happen to our brand?
Yeah.
Right? And something that we really need to pay attention to. So we got two golden nuggets of knowledge tonight, guys. Right? Take care of you first and foremost. And the first nugget was, I got so caught up in the conversation. It was in my
To be okay from a space of vulnerability.
right, and to
To
be
be okay
okay
with being
from the
vulnerable.
place of vulnerability. And I don't think we can get any more real with this conversation that we did tonight. Actually, someone commented, loving, enjoying the discussion, ladies. Very relevant topics. The
Oh,
realness of the
nice.
conversation is what I'm liking. Right? And then
Nice.
so true, hard work. Yeah. She's also an entrepreneur, a mom working from home. So she's relating to our situations and stuff like that. Anika,
Thank
it
you.
was a pleasure having you tonight. It was inspiring as always, real as always. Guys, I
Thank
forgot to
you.
mention, we start Anika is from Jamaica. So she's joining us from Jamaica tonight, guys. My
Maybe
first
I picked
regional.
up the accent, maybe.
Well, just in case, not everybody, but I still wanted to say it. My homegirl from Jamaica. So,
Thank you so much.
right? It really was interesting. I want you all to really pay attention to you, pay attention to what you are telling yourself, and go easy on yourself. The same
Hmm.
way we want to forgive others and feel sorry for others, feel sorry for yourself sometimes. Sometimes you need that attention from yourself. Like, listen to what is going on. If it is you're getting up every morning and you getting out of bed and there's some kind of pain or something, why is that happening? If it is that you just cannot focus, you can't function, something is just overbearing, it's burning you down, work through it. Nothing is
Yeah.
wrong. We are all human. It's going to happen sometime or the other. We are going to have a time where we just cannot meet, and that is okay. That is okay.
Yeah.
We are doing a lot. We are doing a lot, right? Someone says they love the conflict guru glasses on point. Okay, thank you.
So
Finally
coordinate
found you.
everything. Everything. The shirt, the wall, everything. Like was that
Hey, the only reason why I wore this glasses tonight because this is the one with the least reflection. And
uh
remember, I was saying that I was so happy because everything reflects light like crazy. So this is going to
yeah.
be my glasses going forward until I can get another pair that does not reflect. Right? So it really was fun tonight. Thank you guys for joining us. I know there was a change in the date on Tuesday. So I appreciate the change. It's going to be Tuesday this week and Tuesday of next week, and then we're going to be back to our regular schedule Wednesdays. Um, Friday, I'm going to have something special with Rosaline. So look out for that on the page. You can also view this session tonight here on Facebook, on YouTube channel, The Conflict Guru 868, or on my website at theconflictguru868.com/media. So, guys, and like everyone, take care. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Be safe out there. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.